Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new around here. My name is Ashley and I go by the Ashleyness here. Today we are playing Planet Zoo and this is my Esme Zoo episode number 12. And today we will be building the last habitat in our primate sanctuary area of our zoo. And we are building for the chimpanzees. So as we fly through, we kind of get to see all of the exhibits and habitats that we created for the primates so far. And the habitat that we're building today is going to be here in the very back, and we're almost there. As you can see, we have quite a few people in the zoo, quite a few animals and habitats that have been built. So just past this little water feature is where we will be building today. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right on in it. So what we're going to be doing is we're just gonna get rid of these walls and we're gonna jump in it and we're gonna start building. So I have been using the red brick for the base and then the green bamboo and then the white brick for all of these buildings so far, and so I want to make sure to continue that throughout. So I'm just making sure that it fits properly. And of course it gives me a little bit of grief because, you know, it's Planet Zoo, it's got to do its thing. Now I do have to admit that I did make this quite a bit larger and taller than is necessary for the chimpanzees. But however, with the idea that this is supposed to be kind of like a sanctuary, kind of like maybe a rescue for the animals, and I wanted them to be able to have quite a bit of space to roam and have a good amount of privacy if they wanted it. So here we're just continuing through with the bamboo, making the walls tall, and my dog is playing in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh goodness gracious. So then I'm just creating these areas that are free so that we can create the viewing areas with the glass. And now the cool thing about this habitat is that it is going to cross over the pathway and create a kind of where they can look up and see the animals. And I kind of go with a more modern kind of take on this one than the other one with the capuchins, where they had rocks that they climbed, whereas this one's going to be like steps. You'll see how it turns out. It turns out really pretty. So here is where the door is going to be to the habitat so that the keepers can't come in and out. My dogs are wrestling. I'm not sure if you can hear it. Anyway, here I'm creating that passover. And this will be where their private area is. And they are going to have access to the river in this back area. So here I'm just creating the area, the free space, tongue-tied there for a second, the free space for them to go into the water area if they so desire. And it does kind of go close to that pathway there so that the guests can see them in kind of a more natural environment area if they so desire. I did turn it on to where they cannot climb in or out just in case they got out. So I don't know. I made it that way to make sure that they didn't get out because that's all we need is chimpanzees running wild in our zoo. So it did take me a couple tries to do this area here, but we do get it. And so I kind of create like a stairway here, which I think works out very well. And this is just using that white painted brick that I've been using throughout the zoo as well. As I said, it's kind of a little bit more of a modern look because like before I did use stones and boulders, and this is going to be more modern in appearance, as you can see. But I do make it look cute and fit the themes as well. So here I'm just continuing it onto the other side to make sure that they can continue to traverse the area so that they can go from one side to the other side. And I just did like kind of like a long staircase almost. And here I wanted to kind of continue it through so that it didn't look so weird and lopsided. So I kind of made like a little planter area over there. So here we kind of start decoing it up. It's kind of making it look, so well, one I was kind of, okay, so like I get it, like they're not gonna actually fall off the edges, but like I wanted it to appear that they did have some safety in this habitat, so that it did appear, well, it decorates it too. It looks nice with the bordering on there, but also I was just like, man, what if they fall off? Because that would hurt. And so I wanted to make sure that they had some safety. So I just continued this throughout and on both sides. And then I thought it would look cool going all the way across because, you know, it gives it a little bit more texture, a little bit more detailing. So here we're gonna start entering in the glass. And I wanted it to look very supported, which is why it has the such thick on the bottom there with the beams and stuff. And the glass coming across, of course. And realistically, I probably could have just like left it open and let them just run through, but I don't know, I feel like in real life they wouldn't do that because they could jump out. And then I just added some glass here to make it look a little bit more, again, realistic, so that they're not looking like they could just jump over the edge. And then even though it's not needed on this side, I wanted to even it out, and so I did it on that side as well. And then here I'm just raising this up to make it as like a glass topper. So they do have some sheltered area throughout that transition from one side of the habitat to the other. And then here I'm just trying to find one that's like angled so that it just isn't just an abrupt edge, to make it look a little more interesting. We're almost all the way through the video. I know it takes a little while to build, but I feel like it's worth it, and it really does turn out well in the end. So hopefully you're still with me. If not, it's okay. I completely understand. But if you are, I love it. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really do appreciate it. And, you know, as always, I would love to hear from you if you have the time, because I know you guys are very busy out there. But you did take the time to watch the video, which is enough for me. So if that's all you can do for me, that's okay. But, you know, if you have the time and the energy, go ahead and give me a comment. Just let me know kind of what you're thinking, how you're doing, and all this stuff. And, you know, I want to know what you think about how the zoo is turning out. I have a really, really big episode coming up next. You can kind of see it peeking through in the background there. But it's really, really great. So I hope you guys definitely come back for the next one. We still have a little bit more time on this episode, but we're getting there at the end. But yeah, if you guys can leave me a comment, I do read every one of them, and I do respond. And if you guys need help, let me know. Like, I've been asked to do tutorials before, and I, you know, really enjoy doing that. Anything I can do to help. Well, not anything, of course. There's limitations, and I am by far not an expert in this game, but I definitely know a lot. I have been playing ever since it came out. But I would love to be able to help you if you need help. If you just want to say hi, that's cool too. I really do just appreciate hearing from you. But no pressure, as always. You know, I want this to be, you know, relaxing. I know when I watch other people build these things, I find it very relaxing, and I enjoy just listening and watching, and I don't know. Hopefully mine is giving off the same vibes. Anyway, here we're getting back to the build, and we are making this little sheltered area where they're gonna eat and drink, and then, you know, we're just adding in the enrichments, spreading them out so that they have the urge to explore the whole space. And I'm very mindful of what I put in one side versus the other side, because the keepers, they can't get over here. And so I'm not really sure how that's going to work for some of this. And so I wanted to make sure that I hear rumor that, like, they don't need to access the whole place to clean it now and, like, refill things. But it still kind of makes me feel paranoid. And so I'm trying to, like, make sure that, like, anything on this side is just like a reset thing versus like a refill, if that makes sense. Anyway, doing a little terrain work to make it make sense. You know, I feel like, you know, it's good to make little pathway looking things, like maybe where they're kind of running through and making paths, like in the grass and the dirt. And here we're just getting our chimpanzees. I do have a remaster of their appearance, and so they do look really cool in my opinion. I have very, very few mods, but mostly it's a remaster of how they look. So here we're just doing a few finishing touches, like remembering to remove the gates, and then I found this random piece and how to get rid of that. So we are almost done. We are just making sure that the chimpanzees come into the habitat. And here they come, so that we can make sure that we got enough trees and enrichment and everything else that's needed. It did say they could get away, but it's just because my null barrier wasn't quite where it needed to be. And then I found out that they couldn't actually make it down this bit of a cliff here. And that's because I kind of missized them. I forgot how small they are in comparison to like gorillas, you know, per se. So yeah, so I did have to kind of make some little ramps here, which no big deal. It just adds to the look. It's not a, you know, not a hardship. But there, it was really easy fix. I'm not really sure why that wasn't inaccessible, but you know. And here we got the chimpanzees already using our beautiful stairs. We're just gonna follow him real quick. Or her, I can't remember. Oh, we already got another one over here, and they're jumping, they're having a good old time, already accessing everything, which is fantastic. They're exploring their space. And then here we're just gonna get some greenery in. I do the climbing because I want to make sure that they have natural climbing ability. I try to kind of stick to the green area so that it looks a little bit more natural. Give them lots of trees to climb. And then I have to do, see, now here's that stick thing again. I know I talk about it every time, but you know, without the stick, they can't climb it. So it's weird. So yeah, so I add the little stick into every one of these little trees so that they can get up there. I know it's kind of annoying working in the heat map mode because of the colors, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes to make it work. And here we got the guests already flooding in. Oh my goodness. And we're gonna take off the climbing and we're just gonna do some more deco. Now the pictures I saw online for the chimpanzees habitats weren't very lush, so I'm not really sure if that's just like how it is, or maybe they just, I don't know, maybe it's just so that you can see them better, but I did try to leave some big open spaces so that they you know, did have space. But I did also, of course, do a lot of greenery because I can't help myself. I got to. So yeah, they're already roaming around having a good old time. Guests are flooding in, enjoying the view. But you can see that they're quite small compared to the space, but I think that's okay because, like I said, it gives them plenty of space to roam and have a good time. And hopefully it kind of feels like a natural environment for them, which is the goal. So yeah, there's none over here right now, but we are coming in at the end. We're just gonna do some deco out here so it's not so barren. Get my favorite out here, the little periwinkles. And then get some deco up on the walls. I wish we had more for the chimpanzees. So it's kind of repetitive on the deco here on the walls. I mean, it looks really great, but it's just like it is repetitive. It's kind of cool watching them walk down the stairs there in the background. I did these little funny ones up here. I love watching them use the stairs though. You can see they're still using it right there. And then we've already got some mating happening. Oh, they're so sweet. So that's fantastic. That means they're very, very happy in their space. Look at that shading. They look so great. Had to zoom in on that. We are at the end. Again, if you have the time and the energy, can you please leave me a comment, a like, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. It is really appreciated, and most of all, I hope you are inspired, and I hope you have a beautiful day, night, or whatever time it is for you. Bye!